We're going to start our new lesson with the Pythagorean theory. Pythagorean theory was developed by a man named Pythagoras, who is pictured here below. A funny story about Pythagoras is that he really did not like beans. He didn't like the plant, he didn't like to eat them. He was a teacher and he actually advised all of his students to never eat beans. The Pythagorean theory talks about how to find the missing side of a right triangle. Now, as you can see here, we have a right triangle. A right triangle means that it has one angle that's a 90-degree angle, which means that one of the lines is perpendicular with the other line, as you can see right here. Now, they're going to give you two sides, and we're going to find the missing side. Like I said, to use the Pythagorean theory, you have to have a right triangle. This is very important. You cannot use this if it's not a right triangle. So a right triangle has a 90-degree angle. The lines are perpendicular, which means two of the lines make an L shape. The Pythagorean theory states that you can find the length of a side of a right triangle by using a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a is one of the legs, b is one of the other legs, and c is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a triangle, or the side that's away from the right angle. So let's look at an example. This triangle, we have one leg is 3, the other leg is 4, and we need to find the missing side, or x. So what we know is that a, which is 3, a squared plus 4, or b, 4 squared, is going to equal our missing side, c squared. So we can go ahead and write an equation. We know that 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. So as we know, 3 squared, 3 times 3 equals 9, plus 4 squared, 4 times 4 equals 16, is going to equal our x squared. 9 plus 16 is 25. So we know 25 equals our x squared. Now we have to find the square root of 25. We know that 5 times 5 equals 25, and we know negative 5 times negative 5 equals 25. But since we know this is a length, we cannot have a negative length. So we know that 5 is going to equal x. Okay, let's look at another example. You can try to work this out as we go. First thing we look for is we have a right triangle because we have a 90-degree angle, and we're given two sides. One of the legs is 4, one of the legs is 9. So we know that 4 squared plus 9 squared is going to give us our other side squared. So 4 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. So looking at this, we know that 4 squared equals 16, 9 squared equals 81, and that's going to equal our x squared. (16 plus 81 is 97. 97. And that's going to equal our x squared. The most common mistake is thinking that adding these two together gives you x, but you still have to find the square root. So we can pull out our calculators and find the square root of 97, which is going to equal approximately 9.5. It's going to equal x. So we know that our missing side up here, or x, is 9.5. Actually, going back and checking my work, the square root of 97 should have been 9.8. 8. If you type it in your calculator, 97 squared, find the square root of 97, it's 9.8. Let's do one more quick example to make sure we all get it. So you find the sides. A is 8, B is 6. You have the right triangle. You're trying to find x, which is the hypotenuse. So 8 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. The square root of 8 is 64, plus the square root of 6 is 36. And that's going to give us our x squared. 64 plus 36 is 100, and that equals our x squared. Now we find the square root of 100. What number times itself equals 100? So we know that the square root of 100 is 10. So 10 equals x. Our hypotenuse is 10. Okay, here's a couple examples to try for homework. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.